Hello and welcome to this recording. This is a recording of the mindful walking meditation from session 8, which was from the 17th of January 2021. And it's part of our meeting, which was all about tuning into the present moment through the physical sensations of being. So I'll just very quickly start by telling you a little bit about the context of this meditation. This is really right at the heart of mindfulness practice, being present, being in the moment, being aware, but without any judgment, simply as the compassionate observer, but always with an awareness of where our attention is and that we have a choice over where we put that focus. So we can pick things up, we can let them go, and we can observe how that changes the way that we feel, or we can observe thoughts as they come and go, or we can observe physical sensations, anything that is here in the present moment, held in awareness, without judgment. So the purpose of this meditation links really into the practice of this meditation. It's all about being in the body as we go through the simple mechanics of walking. And I can just mention perhaps briefly the fact that this is also in its simplicity a wonderfully adaptable meditation. Of course, you can be standing and you can practice this physically standing and walking. But if you're sitting down at a desk, you could even just practice the motion of walking your feet on the floor. If you don't want to move your legs, you could even practice how it feels to walk your hands on a desk or on your legs. And if you want to take this into the teeny tiny details of real minimalism, you could even just practice walking your fingers across the palm of your hand. And the beauty of this meditation is you can do it all those different ways on different occasions. And that already gives you like 5 different ways that you could practice this meditation to explore all the different nuances that it brings. All that matters is that you are using this meditation to practice being present in the moment, finding an anchor either in this moment, in the breath, in the body, in the sensations of movement. And if you're aware at any time of the wandering mind, because you will be, and if you're aware of emotions arising, because they will arise, remembering this is normal, and in fact, this is the practice. The practice is being aware of all of those things. So as they arise into awareness, this is mindfulness and recognizing that you are being mindful. And then also remembering that for this practice, we're letting those thoughts go. You might just take a second to say, yeah, I recognize this thought. This is planning. Or here I am again, going back to that situation. Or here I am again, mulling over what to do about that project. So maybe just take one step back from that and go, yeah, here is a memory, or here is planning, or here is anxiety, or here is joy. And then letting that emotion and that thought go on its way, remembering everything has its own natural lifespan, a beginning and an ending, even a barking dog. And that at some point, that thought, that emotion will just do its own thing. You bring your attention back to the physical sensations in the meditation of walking. Where can we do this meditation The answer to that question is anywhere. Anywhere that you can take 2 steps forwards and turn around, then you're in a space where you can do this. You could walk around your house, you could walk around your garden, and if you want to extend this practice, you could even take a walk around the town, or a walk around a forest, or walk along a beach. As long as your attention is in the physical sensations as your feet walk on the ground. There's a great mindfulness teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh, and he says when you're doing this meditation, walk as if your feet are kissing the ground. And as long as you're doing that and you're in the moment, then everything is fine. But ultimately, we're not walking in this meditation to go anywhere. We're simply walking to be in the moment. So it's a bit like the raisin meditation. We're using the experience to really get into what it's like to be here right now. So we're going to start the meditation by simply standing. And if you're sitting down, you can adapt my guidance. I'm going to start, as always, with maybe a mindful breath. And what you want to do then is you want to either open or close your eyes. Might be a good idea before you start, just have a little look around you, make sure the space is safe that you're going to be walking into, checking out for any steps or anything you might trip over. Also, you might want to, for this beginning, this guided bit, to have something that you can hold on to with your left hand, because I'm going to take you through 2 steps, and we're going to start in a way that means you might want to just have your left hand on something if you need a bit of extra support or stability. So finding that place, then we're going to begin this guided meditation. And once we have finished this meditation, you're free to continue it if you wish, in any way that you want. Play around with it. So let's begin the meditation. Coming into the present moment, dropping into awareness through the physical sensations of the body. And perhaps just for a few breaths, using this as a gateway into awareness. Perhaps shutting the eyes to bring the focus inwards. And as always, dropping into awareness through checking in with how it is in the body right now. So let's begin in our own way. Maybe just wiggling the toes and dropping attention all the way down to the feet, connected to the ground. And we're not going to stay here for too long right now, just enough to check in, to drop awareness into this region. How is it in the feet to be standing right now? Contact with the floor, sensation of weight and balance. Using the breath to breathe into this area, breathing in awareness, all the way down to the toes. And then, when you're ready, shifting attention to the legs, checking to see if your knees are relaxed. If you find any tension, using the breath, breathing in to any tension or holding, and breathing out just to soften those knees, maybe even just moving your weight so that you can move your knees, relax them. And once we've done this, then when ready, on an in-breath, maybe moving attention to the hips and the pelvis. And again, just checking in, making sure there's no tension, making sure that everything is relaxed. And from there, bringing attention up the back, noticing how the posture is, the muscles of the back and the abdomen, particularly paying attention to the area between the shoulder blades. And from there, bringing attention up into the shoulders. So holding all this area in awareness from the pelvis to the shoulders. Again, just breathing in any areas of tension and breathing out to soften those and to relax a bit. From here, we could radiate our attention out towards the arms and the hands. Noticing again how it is in this part of the body right now. Using the breath as a way of breathing into these regions. If there's any tension, maybe even just shaking out the arms and the hands, relaxing the shoulders and the body at the same time. Before finally bringing attention up to the neck. You might just want to do a few gentle rotations of your head on your neck. And also noticing what's going on in the jaw. And if necessary, again, breathing into those and then using the breath to soften. And now we've just said hello to the body and we've really brought ourselves into awareness. We're going to deepen the meditation once more, taking a deep breath and letting it out. And then on the next in-breath, bringing the attention way down to the toes. And this time we're going to sit with the feet in contact with the ground. Before we even start walking, let's just get into the tiny little details. This is really an exercise in bringing your attention into every little nuance that you can find. However many there are, even if you don't feel anything at all, that's okay, that's the practice. We all come to this practice in our own way. And as long as we can accept what we find, be with what is or what is not, then that's okay. If you need to, maybe just wiggling your toes. And again, you could maybe just gently shift your weight from side to side. That might open up some awareness of sensations in the soles of the feet. So let's begin by just checking out, what does the ground feel like under your feet? Noticing all the different sensations that your feet are sending you, all those different messages. Is the floor warm or cold? Maybe you're wearing shoes. Maybe you've got bare feet. Just accepting whatever is here for you in this practice. Checking in now with whether the surface beneath your feet feels solid. Perhaps you're on a tiled floor or a wooden floor or on a concrete terrace. Or maybe the floor is actually grass. Or maybe you're standing on a beach. Or maybe you're in a forest. Exploring how that feels in the feet. Perhaps the surface that you're on is perfectly flat. Perhaps it's uneven or on a slope. So whatever you find with that, exploring, checking out how that feels. Bringing attention to the toes and to the balls of your feet, to the soles of your feet, and to the heels, while you explore all these sensations of being in contact with the ground. Now, in your own way, just start gently swaying from side to side, not too far. Maybe just even exploring how that motion happens. What's going on in the pelvis? What's going on in the muscles of the legs? What's going on in the ankles and the knees? And then dropping your attention right down into the feet again. What's going on in the heels and on the soles of your feet and in your toes? Maybe subtle changes in pressure. Bringing your attention to the muscles as they work and how those muscles change in tension and relaxation as your weight moves from side to side. And while you're holding those toes and those heels and those soles of your feet in awareness, seeing if you can also hold the shoulders. Are you aware of any movement in your shoulders or in your back as you shift your weight from foot to foot? Keeping both feet firmly on the ground, simply moving your weight, swaying. And from this movement, we're now going to practice moving our weights all the way over onto our left foot, but keeping the right foot on the ground. Noticing how the weight shifts, how the right foot becomes lighter. It's like a sensation of freedom, of letting go, and how the left foot takes on the weight. And the muscles of the left foot start working, maybe even gripping the ground to hold your whole body in balance. And at this point, if you need to, you've always got that wall or that table or the chair that you are standing beside. You can just gently place your hand on that, just for security if you need it. And explore how it feels just to touch that for a minute. While you're deep in awareness, that sensation might be quite interesting. So now we've got our weight all the way over on our left foot. And as you've moved, you'll notice there are other things that have changed. Notice what's going on in the toes of the left foot and the sole and the heel. Notice what's going on in the ankles and the muscles of the calves and the thighs. And maybe also just check in with that knee. Remembering we don't want to be locking our knees. They should always be, doing their job, but in a nice and relaxed way. Checking in with the hip. Now, sometimes when I do this, I get pain in my hip and my back. And I'm aware of that fairly intense sensation. And it's a good time for reminding ourselves that whatever we find in this meditation is unique. Everyone experiences this in their own way. And every time you experience this meditation, new things will come up. That's the practice. Being aware of what comes up in this moment, at this time, in this place. Dropping into the moment through the physical sensations of being. So if you're standing here experiencing any intensity, remembering to bring kindness to this practice, beginner's mind, but also compassion. So if you choose, you can sit with this intensity and use it as a practice to explore, remembering all things have a natural beginning and ending. All things will rise and fade. And bringing a curiosity to that is always enriching. But if you prefer and the sensations might be uncomfortable, and you've decided that for now you don't want to be practicing sitting with the difficult, you can just shift your weight back onto the right foot again. And as you do that, noticing the release, noticing the change. And then maybe on another in-breath when you're ready, breathing into awareness, and on an out-breath as you let it go, shifting your weight back onto the left foot and checking in again with those areas where the intensity was. Has anything changed? Now we're going to move into the walking part of the walking meditation. So we want to just lift our right foot up. And as we do this, maybe practicing it a few times just as you're learning this meditation, we want to peel the foot off the floor, starting with the heel, and then rolling up through the sole and the ball of the foot until only the toes are in contact. And at that point, really bringing your attention into the shift in weight as you lift that foot off the ground. Noticing all the work that's being done by your right leg in lifting and extending, and all the work being done on the left foot, holding the body steady. And then reaching the right foot forwards, noticing how the leg extends and how the muscles at the front of the thigh engage. And also noticing what's going on in the left foot, perhaps tension around the calf and the ankle, perhaps a gripping of the ground by the toes. And noticing a shifting forwards of the whole body and the anticipation of finding the floor again with your right foot. Even if your eyes are closed, your foot will tell you when it's found the ground. You'll notice your heel in contact, and you'll notice the shifting of muscles and weight as your body moves forward slowly onto that right foot. The right foot slowly rolling back down, heel through sole, through ball, and then eventually onto your toes. And if you want to take that movement backwards, imagine rolling a film backwards. Noticing next time what's happening in your left foot. As your right foot goes down, your left foot rocks forwards, your heel comes off the ground, all your weight goes onto the ball of your foot and then onto your toes as they lift up to push your body forwards. Maybe rolling that film back again to the beginning of that motion. Checking in a third time with what's going on, this time in the pelvis, in the back, as the whole body moves forwards and balances in that movement. So now we've completed one step, and that is the walking meditation. There's nothing else, nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. Simply this, being aware of the movement in that motion. So just staying there for a minute now with your weight on the right foot. And if you're aware that your body is in any way off balance, there's no problem in shifting your posture. This practice is yours to do in any way you want, as long as you move that posture in a mindful way. Then this is the practice. If you notice that your mind is wandering, then recognizing that, celebrating this moment of awareness, quietly congratulating yourself for that mindful awareness, and then letting those thoughts go and bringing your attention back to the feet and the body in the motion of moving. And from now, you've really got a choice. You can continue this practice. You can take a few steps more. And when you run out of space, you can then explore the sensations of turning around and then coming back the other way. And you can just spend 20 minutes walking up and down in your little space, exploring how it feels in the body on that teeny tiny level. And the next time you do this meditation, you might want to practice moving a little bit faster. You could even set a timer and do 5 minutes of this really microscopically slow movement, and then 5 minutes of just a normal walking pace, and then maybe 5 minutes again of really slowing it down. You can practice this out in the forest. If you're out for a walk, maybe just pause for 5 minutes and practice this mindful walking movement out in nature, where it's going to feel very different. Or maybe on your beach, if you're down on the beach, you could practice this on wet sand or on dry sand. If you're sitting at your desk and you want a break, you can just get up from your desk and practice even just that sensation of walking on the spot, just shifting your weight from one foot to the other. So this is the walking meditation, and now you've got a video and an audio, and you can take this with you anywhere you want, and you can make this practice your own.